For today's Pokemon Sun and Moon video, we're going to be taking a nice good look at the Alola region because this map is absolutely massive. Like, it's mind-blowing how large this map is. There is a press kit version going around the Alola region, and as you can see, we can zoom in, and zoom in, and zoom in, and the detail's pretty good. Like, about right there is where it starts dropping off, but that's like the most in-depth that we've seen of anything right now. And this lets us look at almost individual buildings, patches of grass, just wherever the Alola region's going to have some cool stuff going. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of adventure this one out, kind of take a look at what we have in the Alola region, and see if there's any secrets yet to be discovered. Now, one interesting thing is that when you kind of scale out and you look at all of it, it seems like there's more than enough for adventure here, but you can absolutely get the feel that this is going to be a much different journey than we've ever seen out of anything Pokemon related, because there's specific towns, but the way that it's like kind of split up, you know, it looks like we're just going to make a round around the island, and then we can hop on over to the next island once we've reached our goal and something. But it doesn't look like there's enough cities or potential gyms to actually make 8 or something like that. So we can look at this, you know, maybe there's like a hidden town behind an island or something. But let's go and start with the main island that we're going to see right here. And yeah, there we go. We're going to start here. We get to adventure through. We've already seen ourselves like walking down into the city and whatnot. And it's pretty standard. I mean, we can make out Pokemon centers as well, so some kind of landmark will be just identified. So boom, Pokemon Center right there. That's going to be a harbor with a boat, and even if we zoom out a little, we can see a boat leaving this little docking area, so potentially this will be the second island. Now, adventuring the island, it seems like it's going to be pretty quick, because we've seen from the trailer that there's going to be like just kind of fast movement, like boom, we're done. City's over. Now, how well scaled is this going to be? Are the cities, like, we've never seen a map look quite like this, to almost having perfect scale with the island and whatnot. Like, once we leave the city, is it going to feel longer to get from point A to point B, or is it going to be about the same? Because, like, yeah, we could tear through these, and I don't see, like, at least in the first area until we start getting behind here, maybe there's something special on the other side of the island, but it looks like we just run through and not have to worry about any Pokemon counters, which is another starting kind of point of seeing where this is going to be a much different Pokemon experience than what we're used to. And other than that, there's just like a house right there. Oh, we've seen that house. That house is actually in the trailer. Okay, so that's the Pokemon Professor's house, or at least where we saw, because that looks a little beaten up and like he's working on it as well. So that actually has something. This building is still unidentified. I think one of the big things is going to be looking for gyms. Because it's like, are there enough cities even to support enough gyms, or are gyms going to just kind of be out in the wild? This looks like a hotel, maybe? That we saw a slacking hotel, but maybe this matches it, maybe this doesn't. And this actually looks like a berry farm. Like, I see a allotment right there for berries and soft soil or whatever it's called. And there we go. So first island's pretty basic. It looks like we might just get like almost a tutorial island, but I don't see a gym unless this represents the gym. But there was like no Pokemon symbol outside of it. We've actually seen this. Actually, this could potentially be a gym right here. Like, you have to look for buildings that stand out, that have importance. So, I mean, we have 4 islands, we need to average 2 gyms each, and this one might have 1. Also, on the other map, we saw, like, some kind of building over here that we don't see right here. So it is, okay, so it looks like this is going to be cutting some things out compared to what we see. Just like, you know, it's not supposed to be detailed. When we zoom it out, that's what we're looking at for the region. If we compare it to other regional maps, you know, we don't see every little town and every little house, which is why this is so different. So let's go and check out this island. Now, this island, very confusing. Like, this just looks like a dock and then a Pokemon Center and then nothing else. So is this island developed? And also, when I first saw this, I kind of laughed. That looks like a RuneScape agility course. If you guys understand that one, it looks like you go over there into an agility course. Could be some kind of training area. Could mean something. I don't know. But yeah, here we have like a cave. So we hook right into the cave. But this is pretty significant right there. That is obviously where we encounter legendary Pokemon. So actually, it might not even be the second island, now that I'm thinking about this a bit more. Or, you know, we come in here, we can like use it to go to another area. Either way, it seems like boats are kind of, this is some sort of trafficked area, and maybe the houses just aren't drawn in or not detailed enough or something. Like, maybe these are somewhat houses, but it just looks like some kind of random long dock / pier that doesn't really go anywhere. And then we go into wild Pokemon encounters, trailing, and then boom, geysers. That might actually be something interesting, because it looks like that opens up, like you walk in through there and you go into the geyser. Other than that, like, yeah, this seems like it's going to be very... I think this is going to be absolutely annoying to deal with in the game, honestly. Like, a lot of mountain and hiking and trekking and stuff through forest stuff. So, a lot of Pokemon encounters with only one Pokemon Center. But it looks like it's going to be worth it to get to the legendary Pokemon. We actually have, like, a beam of light shining down onto a tree right here. So, maybe this is going to have some significance. I would say post-game... third legendary. So the third legendary, the non-main guy, probably represents the earth, therefore we have trees or the tree of life or something like that. That's what my guess is. I kind of saw this tree, it was pointing out, I'm like, this is obviously very significant if there's even a beam of light shining onto this tree that is absolutely massive. Like, you can see it when fully zoomed out. So next up, let's go and check this out. Now this looks like some kind of Pokemon gym. Like, this is what we're looking for with a gym. Nice, large, definitely stands out, definitely has some kind of significance or meaning. But that's kind of the big one. And then we can find the dock. So it looks like this might be where we get off, and then we just start over here. Lighthouse, or maybe right here. This boat works out. We have a sailing ship, which is pretty interesting, and some kind of more old school looking rustic Japan kind of. I don't know, traditional. I guess we're just gonna call it traditional kind of looking town right here. There's the Pokemon Center. That actually looks like a cemetery, maybe. Like, those are headstones, potentially. Because there's always, like, a Pokemon cemetery in some of the, like, with some regional representation. So, yeah, that could be something. Maybe that's, like, a gym or a dojo. Other than that, this looks like a separate town. Okay, I see it now. So, we get in here. This might be gym number 2. We have a forest to go through. So, there is actually going to be a lot of adventuring. A lot more now that we're breaking this down. So, Cemetery of the Lost Ones, and then we just go in through there, maybe some kind of little outpost, and then boom, that's our forest. That's one of the early forests that we go into. Pop out, boom, next place, and then we have this. This is actually the resort from the first trailer that we ended up seeing. This might be some kind of important building, and yeah, now I'm wondering, like, if there's a difference. Like, that looks like a Pokemon Center, or not a Pokemon, that looks like a Pokemart, which means they're not going to be the Pokemon Center. I think we kind of saw something similar. Yeah, that looks like another, blue and blue right there. So it's a little different, a little similar. I don't know. Like, has it been confirmed that Pokemarts are inside the Pokemon Center? Because, like, we just saw a little picture of the inside. I think you could have, like, made a case for either one. Either way, this looks like it could be a gym as well. Maybe not a second town gym. But yeah, this is like some kind of large resort. Had fish on it. Could potentially be an aquarium. It has significance. We've already seen a picture of it before, so might have something to do with it. And now we can actually, okay, I'm actually seeing more towns kind of open up. Like, at first, actually no, this doesn't look like a single town, but it looked a little different. This definitely connects somewhere. That's a large and interesting building that has some kind of significance. There's a beach. I'm wondering if this was actually a special beach that we got to see in one of the trails. I don't think so, but definitely, like, selling it up on the resort. Oh, hey, is that a golf course? Yo, we get to play golf in Pokemon. That has to be some kind of mini game. That has to have some kind of representation right there. Yeah, so that's the resort, which means that people that were thinking this is a resort, this is more likely to be a gym or an aquarium, like I first thought. We have like, I wouldn't say hot springs, but we have a springs kind of area, very natural. So it looks like we gotta travel around through here, loop through the path, and then we get to this town over here that's probably blocked off for some reason. Maybe just too dense. And yeah, we have like 2 towns right next to each other. This might actually be a town, and this might be like, this is why I wanted to look at the map. I am so interested right now in the Alola region because, like, these are right by each other. Like, you just walk up the trail. You don't have to worry about finding Pokemon. You go into the next town. Or at least something significant right here. Some kind of ranch. I hope that that's a Moo Moo Ranch at some point. That looks like some kind of underground car tunnel that wraps around to the back of the island right here. This seems like another hotel. Because that looks like very similar to this over here. And we kind of saw that in the first teaser that announced Pokemon Sun and Moon. This is like a slacking hotel or something. So that might be interesting. But it's like, yeah. So are the town details just being blurred out? Like, is this a full town just like how this is a full town kind of idea? So right now I've only seen like 1, maybe 2 gyms. That's just nice looking. Now this is going to be beautiful. Like, I want to explore around through here. This, I imagine, items, rare candies, TMs. There's going to be a lot of goodies to find over there. Random Pokemon Center just chilling right here, honestly. And, yeah, looks like we get to heal up, do some things, interact with some people. Maybe, like that's the thing, like, these first 2 islands. Okay, I think it's starting to make sense. These first 2 islands are very casual, not super infested with Pokemon, you know, still very resorty, still very open for exploration, even though we have like a lava pit going on right there. That's going to be a surfing area, so I guess we come around through here. Maybe there's a town back here or something, and that's a surfing area. Let's go to the other inhabited island, because, again, this one doesn't seem as inhabited. This island, still pretty interesting, I would have to say. Also, I have my couch right here, so I'm just, like, leaning up against the couch, like, what's going on in this island? Now, where do we start? So I think that this, yeah, we can see, I wonder if the boats are intentionally here. I'm going to zoom in just a little so I can get a little more on screen. I wonder if the boats are intentionally here to kind of, like, show, like, okay, you depart here, you wrap around, and then you only get in on this part of the island? Wait, actually, hold up. Maybe I was a little wrong before right here, because these buildings look the same. Like, blue... Well, actually, no, never mind. I'm trying to, like, figure out what represents, like, a docking area, because this building actually looks very similar to this building, I believe. Yes, absolutely. So that's actually where the boat gets in, or our ferry, or whatever takes us there. Palm trees, definitely palm trees right here, and then we go into the cave. We pop out... I guess somewhere around here. Like, this is where it starts getting a little more desolate, so it's definitely going to be that your adventure picks up intensity for sure. That things get serious real quick. We have some kind of, like, Johto representation, rebuilt of the Tin Tower, something very humble. Like, this is also a very, more rustic, traditional. It's a much more traditional looking kind of Japanese town. Underground path, maybe just a building being built. See, I don't know. Is that a gym? Does that look like a gym? That's an observatory right there because it's on top of the mountain. So Hawaii has an observatory on top of one of the volcanoes, and that's kind of very similar right here. That actually looks like a rain cloud that's raining on this path. And then we have the walled city. That might be a gym right there. So we have 4 gyms identified maybe. That could be some kind of arena. I don't know if that's actually specifically going to be a gym though. It potentially could be. But let's try to mark our adventure a bit more. So another thing, like the roads are throwing me off so much because this is obviously developed. We take the road, that's like some kind of stop sign area. This actually looks like an underground cave that pops out somewhere. No, like the road just goes into a cave and dead ends, or at least it doesn't get any more detail. And over here, you know, it goes behind the mountain. We wrap around. There's another road right here. This isn't really a town though, so I guess the road's just kind of dead end in this case. Very interesting. That looks like a helipad, or some kind of very, very special pad. Yeah, this suddenly gets a lot more interesting and desolate. How do we get through here? So we start here. Maybe we go through this forest, and then we get a split, so we can either go to the town, or we can go to here. And this looks like, that just looks like a research station. So something on this side of the island is going down. Some kind of maybe ancient monolithic drawing. I don't even know if that's the correct thing. Oh, never mind. This looks like a lift. This is actually a lift that you use that to ride up to the top of the mountain. There's a Pokemon Center there. So it looks like we're going to venture through the mountains, and then we're going to get to the observatory with another Pokemon Center. Maybe the evil gang hijacks the observatory because sun, moon, space, something like that. Which is why there's a Pokemon Center there for our convenience, I'd imagine. Bad things going on. No Pokemon Center over here. Actually, no, Pokemon Center here. Yeah, suddenly, like, the towns just vanished. Like, some of these places are super developed and super urbanized, and the rest of it is, like, feel lonely, but in, like, a crazy way. Some kind of battle platform, maybe. Something significant. This building, we don't know. We don't know what that building is either. And then we've kind of already looked around, and then we saw that this island right here has almost nothing as well. I found, like, maybe 6 gems, and maybe this is actually a gem as well. Like, this could this is either looking to be like the battle tower or battle area. This could maybe they're going to combine the Elite Four and the battle tower, something like that, because I don't see a victory road. Maybe we're going to go through this quest after we get our 7th or 8th gym badge, and then we actually get the chance to go over here. Could potentially be like the 8th gym, and then we just walk on over like, hey, look at that. Now I really like this idea, this offshore island resort kind of thing. If they make it super modern, super impactful, these actually look like solar panels, just like they're drawing the lines on them, kind of signal solar panels. You know, it's almost has a utopian vibe to it, and I really like that. And a ring around it, so this is like an enclosed water area to keep people safe or something. Now I'm wondering if this goes underground. Like, nothing would be cooler if that actually goes underground, and if you're battling like the Elite Four, or you're doing adventures underwater, like in a giant glass kind of area, and you can see outside through the water. Like, that would be pretty cool. but it also builds up a bit, which is kind of interesting. But this is absolutely going to be like something significant. Giant mansion, you know, kind of idea. There's even like grass and stuff and trees. So I'm actually really liking this. Like, that's why I'm so interested in the Alola region. It's very captivating. We also have a Whalmer Island. Like, that looks like some kind of a whale tail, so maybe Whalmer Island, or maybe it even represents a new whale Pokemon that we might get access to. It's secluded, you know, it's behind clouds and stuff, so might be a little hidden right there. We also have this island over here. We don't know what this island does. There's nothing on it. Maybe event legendary Pokemon, some kind of, I don't see a building, so I wouldn't even think Safari Zone. Maybe just, like, rare Pokemon encounters. Like, that's the Mirage Island. What if that's, like, a Mirage Island now that you think about it? Certain days have certain Pokemon that just kind of appear here because rare Pokemon are in the Alola region. Other things? Can't really point out. Now, you know it'd be really sick if we had the soaring mechanic. If the soaring mechanic comes back, it's not just Latios, we can soar on like any Pokemon. Like, I want to take in the beauty of this island region, you know. We fly around, we can go over to this island through that kind of specific way, go over this island in a special way. I think it would be very amazing, very special, just kind of sort of specific points, because it's large. Like, I'm definitely seeing where we can actually, yeah, this might actually be larger than Kalos. You know, if they really kind of space out these in-between areas, you know, that looks like some kind of, like, marsh area, but it also has, like, purple in it, so maybe it's, like, a flowery marsh. That would actually be... I want this game to be beautiful. I want this game to make me feel like I'm going on a Pokemon adventure. And this might actually capture it more than anything. Because we have some comforts, we have some very modern, very developed areas, and we have others that aren't. I think we're good to go, guys. I think that's going to be good. So, park... looks nice. Everything's solid. Maybe, yeah, it looks like there are going to be Pokemon centers that have the Pokemarts added into them. I was just thinking that was like a little peculiar. This might be a specialty shop then. I think we're good. I think we're good. So if you guys enjoyed this video, still some mysteries of the Alola region. That's looks like some kind of turbines. So maybe steam-powered turbines generates power for the Alola region. Some kind of road crossing. I'm just like trying to capture the last little bits of information. I'm sure you guys will point out some really awesome things you discover in the comments down below. That's what we have. So if you guys enjoyed the video, Alola, it's beautiful. I'm more excited for this game than ever. Like, some people are like, oh man, overanalyzing kills the hype. This is actually giving me more hype because there's a lot of news coming out, but it's very specific, and it seems like it's meant to captivate and not expose. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.